And we are live! Hello, IGL people! We are... this is the revival of the rather slow IGL studio. As you can hear, today I am your host, Gigasaurus Games. Prime is being very busy with his own game publishing, so you're stuck with me today.
Dare he be successful?
Yes, he was very successful. Congratulations, Prime. But that is not who we're talking. That's not what we're talking about today. Today we have Dr. Mindermast with his game that you can see on screen, Dwarven Guild of Engineers. So, what's up, Doc?
Good morning. Surprisingly, that is the first time that I've gotten that greeting, and I can't believe that it took that long. So yes, we are here with Dwarven Guild of Engineers, a light card game about ridiculous inventions in a very loosely defined fantasy setting. Basic premise of the game is that we are all inventors competing to score contracts with our wealthy patrons, represented by these cards down here. We're going to find out what the patron wants. We're going to all build our own inventions to try to meet that request, and then convince each other why my invention is the best one to do what the patron wants, and not your invention. There are a few extra bits that we can add on to that, but I think we're going to start with just the basics for the first round and then go from there.
And sounds good. And today we have 3 people playing: Dr. Mindermast, myself, and Joe. Hello again, Joe.
Hello. Hello.
Hopefully everyone can hear all our audio
ready.
well. I did my best to set up OBS, but OBS is, you know, fine. It's good at its job, but a little hard to
We
use
can all
sometimes.
hear each other, and hopefully it works well for the audience too.
Worst case scenario, we can always schedule another one later.
That too.
I heard some bings. Did somebody leave the chat?
No?
3 of us are all here.
I heard double bings. That's why I was looking. Oh, wait a second. It's Vigilante. he did. He just very sorry about that. So he must have popped in real quick. Well, you're welcome to play. Hold on, let me tell him. Okay, I'm ready. Sorry about that.
Maybe
That's okay.
if we're lucky, maybe we'll have a 4th player. We'll see. But in any case, if we can, this is the sort of game we can certainly start and join people people can join as you go, just like apples to apples or something.
Works very easily for that, and as you can see from the table setup, it seats up to 8, minimum 3 players, so we are good with what we have here.
For people who care about these things, today's stream is brought to you by ScreenTop.gg, app that does not have automatic zooming, so you may see a zoom menu come up every so often.
That is a thing here.
Sure, I want that sponsorship, to be quite honest.
Ha!
With that said, shall we start the game?
Half-assed game platform. Go.
Fast, easy to use, and free to the player game platform. Play in your browser, no download.
Let's do this. Who is the first patron person?
So, the request from our first patron is, make me something to detect enemy spies.
Yes.
So, combine 1 base card and 1 modifier card from your hand to detect enemy spies.
Detect. That's not a good word. Can I change any words on the patron's thing?
I mean, the game is still in beta, in theory. These can always be revised. What do you think would be a better word than detect?
Well, I just don't have any cards that really are going to help me detect a spy, but I could do many other things to a spy other than detect him.
Okay, so that sounds a little bit more like a problem with the inventor rather than a problem with the request. But maybe that's just me.
Can I misinterpret any words?
By all means. And then it's up to us to vote on whether or not we like your misinterpretation.
Okay. Let me see,
I will point out right now that there is a rule for what to do if you feel like everything in your hand is garbage and you want to replace things. So if we get to that point, let me know and I'll tell you what that rule is.
I'm close to it.
That sounds boring.
I said I can't really detect an enemy spy with what I got. I can do a lot of things to him, but detect is the hard part here.
Make something up.
I'm trying to.
think I know what I'm doing.
I'm sure the stream will be very entertained by whatever weird stuff I put down during the game, but I don't have chat
When I move them from
visible
my
to
hand, do
me,
they come
so
out
I
the
can't
same
respond. Sorry.
orientation? So if they're up in my hand, will they come up? That sounded terrible.
Yeah, if it's face up in your hand, it's going to be face up when you put it on the table.
Okay.
I will say from all other test games of this that I've run, the inventions where it's more of a stretch to make your pitch do tend to be a lot more entertaining than the ones where it's like very obviously, yes, that makes sense to fit the request. Although there are also some that go in the other direction of being just so painfully obvious that it's hilarious, and that one gets the vote.
Who has the first honors here?
Okay. Well, Joe, you're player 1. Would you like to get us started?
Oh, I guess I will have no choice but to. So, I would like to introduce you to the newest windmill on the market. And this is no ordinary windmill. This is a... Whoops. Damn it, I hate that. This can be a thing. This is a spy absorbent windmill. So if a spy comes within 30 yards of this windmill, it is sucked into the windmill. The windmill actually spins backwards. That's why it sucks instead of blows.
That does sound like a powerful invention. However, it concerns me that it may be a little bit too obvious. At least once the first spy has gotten sucked in, the other spies are going to know how to avoid it.
Why don't you get into the mincing feature? I didn't really want to get into that. There might be children watching, but there is a mincing feature for that.
I was gonna say if there are no survivors, who's to say?
There you go, Giga. See?
Okay, you have a fair point. However, I still think that a better option, rather than the absorbent windmill, might be the smoky axe.
Well,
it's a little bit more subtle. At first glance, it's just a normal axe. However, when a spy touches it, whether to wield it as a weapon, to try to steal it from your armory, or whatever else they might be up to, it will emit thick clouds of black smoke, thus alerting everybody to the presence of the spy.
How are you going to get them to pick up an axe? Like, I'm in an armory, like, that would be the last thing I pick up. I pick up, like, the machine gun. Something like that.
Dwarves. Who doesn't want to pick up an axe?
I guess, if you're, well, I don't know. Probably more of a pick to go mining. Pickaxe would have been nicer, actually.
Look, I'm working with the materials I have available. But I suppose let's see what Giga has to offer, and then we can all decide who to criticize.
And see, I think both of you have excellent ideas, and I've got a very similar one. But here's the thing: you have boring options. I bring to you a full-on diamond-edged cannonball.
That's not detecting.
complete with automatic laser system for trips that just like a normal trap system. If anyone, especially a spy, thinks that they can walk down the secret passage without the special key phrase, they are going to find themselves on the wrong end of an explosive weaponry that will also that's so sharp it can cut through any armor with the shrapnel.
I'm already voting before you finish.
All right. Well, I at least have the bonus for matching materials, so token shows I have the bonus vote for that.
I'm ready to vote.
I don't remember if that was mentioned on the stream, but yes, that is a thing.
Yes. So yes, for those of you that weren't here for the rules explanation, you see each of the cards has different colored icons on them. When the base and the modifier have the same colored icon, that is worth a bonus vote. It abstractly represents that this invention is very well constructed, separate from does it actually do what it's supposed to or not. Okay, well, I've got my vote ready.
Whatever that is, like, what's that show? Like Dancing with the Stars, where we have a little, where we explain our vote, or we just vote?
No, I've been doing just votes, because feedback I've gotten in the past has been that people like anonymous voting. So, you know, it's as anonymous as I could figure out with the online platform.
Oh, wait, that didn't work.
Yeah, so set it to the player number that you like, and put it in the middle of the table.
3, 2, 1, ha!
I didn't know. I tried to flip it, and instead I rolled it. Now, I was split, but I decided to go with Giga because of the cannonball having the especially spy setting on it while it's flying through the air. You can hit a button and I'm looking for especially spies.
That makes sense. Alright, so 1 vote for Giga, none for me, except that I have the bonus vote for matching materials. 2 votes for Joe. You win the round. So,
That's not a very smart buyer.
Alright.
What do we do with them now?
Sure. So the ones you already built, you can discard. I think it's easier to leave those face up so we know they're discarded. The voting tokens you can just put back in your hand. Doesn't matter who grabs which one because they're all the same.
Grab a new card.
Yep. 1 of each so that you're back up to 3 and 3. Okay. 1 more round of just the basics, or shall we discuss optional rules now?
Why don't for the stream we do 1 more basic and then we can mix it up for the next round, I think.
Sounds good. Okay, so our next patron is I'll keep this close to next patron is requesting an invention to deal with the interplanetary gate that recently opened up near my fortress.
I assume you mean interplanar
gate.
But yes. Granted, interplanetary gate, much cooler, however.
I'm not sure. If interplanetary means I could just go to Mars, right?
That
would I be inside of it? What does that mean?
Interplanar fits better with I was trying to do the vaguely D&D fantasy kind of setting, but
it does fit better.
As discussed earlier, we can misinterpret things and see where that goes. It's a flexible kind of game.
I have 2 ways I can go here. I'm not sure which way to go.
If I was a really good streamer, I'd have a 3rd monitor so I could just move my mouse over and mute myself in Discord so I could explain to the stream why I'm doing stuff. However, I'm not that good at my job.
We all ready?
We all have to start somewhere. I'm certainly no better.
Also, Joe,
I think we are already.
Joe, you need a die. Pick up your die.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Cool.
Is there rules who goes first each round? Is it the person that's ahead, behind?
So the recommendation, but not solid set in stone rule, is that whoever won the previous round starts the next round.
It's easy then, because I can sum this up quickly and easily. The only way to deal with interplanar or interplanetary gates is with my patented triple cement. If you want to block an interplanetary gate, this is the way to do it. Set it and forget it. Triple cement's the way to go.
Triple cement is good. It's nice and solid. I agree that completely blocking off the gate is the best way to deal with it. And in fact, great minds think alike, and I had also been planning to cement up the gate. My cement, however, rather than just being very, very dense, is reverberating. Because we want to not only block the gate, but it would probably be good for us to be aware of when something is trying to get through. So if something goes through the gate, smacks into the cement wall, that cement wall is now going to alert us that there is something happening there, and we may need to respond to it.
I would just like to point out with triple cement, it is so solid you wouldn't even know it if a sun came and hit it. It's just going to bounce off. You'll never know it. Like I said, set it.
I mean, more like quadruple cement.
No, you don't have quadruple cement. You have reverberating cement, which isn't as good as triple. Let's put it that way. Unless Giga's got quadruple cement.
It's just good in a different way. But yes, let's see what Giga has to offer.
You two have no imagination. We are dwarves. We seek wealth. We seek adventure. The best way to deal with any kind of gate is to find out what is on the other side of it. for everyone's excitement, I have today the most useful tool for any explorer of any realm: a self-propelled chair, perfect for moving yourself or your equipment with ease. You could easily jump through the gate with the chair and find any treasure that you want and bring it on back.
You're like reclining into the next plane.
I do worry that if you don't like what's on the other side, that I don't know if the self-propulsion of the chair would be fast enough to get you back safely.
Well, he didn't get into the speed rating. Do we have a speed rating on the chair?
Yeah, the chair, because it is self-propelled, the chair has no speed rating. It can go as fast as required. It can break the speed. It can time travel. It can break the speed of light. You could use it to detonate neutrinos and neutrons inside the gate to shut it down in the event of an emergency, just like a giant quantum nuclear bomb. It can go at any speed you
while
need.
I'm sitting in that chair.
Oh, that's a hell of a chair. I mean,
yeah.
that's a lot of options for one chair.
Sounds like a very expensive chair, come to think of it.
Oh, I don't know if price is no object with inventions, right?
I suppose you are right about that.
Okay.
It is my own game, and I definitely never worked in any worrying about what's expensive. These patrons have money to give us. That's why we're doing it. It sounds like we're all ready to vote. Okay, so I get a bonus for matching materials. Giga gets a bonus for matching materials. We'll put the token. There we go. All right.
Well, I just moved the rule. I just moved the rule book.
Oh no, the rules reference sheet. Whatever shall we do?
Already?
Yep.
I think so.
All right. 1, 2, 3, yeah. And I am voting for the Warp Factor 9 chair.
Woo.
I want to engage. I want to sit down and go, engage.
Okay. The simplicity of the triple cement does also win some votes. So the two of you are now tied.
Oh, good. Where's the score?
Well, so we count up the number of votes, basically. So we've got 2 votes that were for Joe's invention. We've got 1 vote that was for Giga's.
That's what I was looking for.
I think
no, there is not a scoreboard.
I think we just count the number of cards we've picked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm saying there's a tie for votes now. Because Joe, you have 2 votes. Giga has 2 with the bonus vote for matching materials.
And we did vote for each other, so I'm not sure there's anything that makes sense to break ties there.
Fortunately, there is a tiebreaker rule. There's actually 2 ways to do tiebreakers. One of them is based on randomly rolling for materials, but that wouldn't be very good here since you guys have similar materials. So the other option is that each of you is going to play a second modifier on the other person's invention. You are then going to take turns explaining how that new modifier makes your invention even better than it already was. And then everybody else in the game, which in this case is just me, is going to vote for which one is now the best invention, having been improved.
All right. I would just say right off that this is better than the original rules. The fact that you're allowed to lay something on somebody else's invention, I think, is a better, almost something that should be in part 1.
In other words, you could say choose your own base, and then apply your player to your left who applies a modifier.
Maybe where you're mid pitch and somebody can throw.
When we add goblin cards, there will be some of that, but we'll get there when we get there.
Like I said, this makes you really think more than because you have your idea what you're going to do with your own cards, but once somebody's starting to lay something on there, now you really got to come up and be a pitchman, right? Your little mixer, you're on there and something flew off of it, and now you're on live TV with your broken mixer. You better come up with something. So.
It does add to the challenge.
All right, so do we draw a new modifier or one from our hand?
Just of what you currently have in your hand. You play one on the other person's invention.
Well, I have one that can make it easy on you, Giger. I can give one that makes it hard on you.
I think I can only help you, so it's up to you.
Here we go. If we're doing helpful things, the other one would have been almost impossible. It would have made no sense how you would have come out of it. Here we go.
It's very kind of you both.
Oh. Well, I mean, the only thing better than triple cement is triple cement with extra cushioning because, like I said before, You may have heard the sun hit it if a sun was hurtling through space and hit the other side of triple cement. But with extra cushioning, you're going to sleep soundly, even through a solar collision.
You claimed that before, though.
I said the sun could hit it and it wouldn't move. He was talking about his being, like, moving, reverberating. Now I'm saying I've dampened even the sound of it. I mean, we were talking about a sun hurtling.
I think you were saying the sun would hit it and nobody would even know. Now, even further, nobody would even know.
Well, even God wouldn't know. He's omnipotent, right? So he was probably still listening.
Okay. And now how about our lightweight self-propelled chair?
Certainly, an extra cushion cement will still block it very well. But now that the self-propelled chair is lightweight, that also means it does not require much in the way of materials. It means it will be super easy to mass produce to outfit your army in the event that you want to send an entire adventuring party. It'll be super, as well as easily produce an entire arsenal of these awesome quantum nukes in the event of an emergency. What could be better?
I can sell this chair faster.
Yeah.
The Warp Factor 9 chair is now Warp Factor 10, baby.
And mass producible.
So since I'm the deciding vote here, I did originally like the simplicity of the triple cement wall. However, I think that the added benefit of ease of mass production for the chairs outweighs the added benefit of padding on the wall. So I'm going to give this one to Giga.
Woo!
Can I point out that we really don't need mass production for one man who has a planar gate next to his fortress? We need one of these.
But he may have a whole army that he wants to send through.
Near planar gates, correct? If so, we have a different problem and a different invention to make.
We'll get there when we get there. But for now, Giga gets to keep that card. We all take back voting dice.
We have to take 2 modifiers now, right? We
yes, so you draw back up to have 3 of each.
I don't think it likes 2 people taking things at the same time either.
It doesn't. I have noticed that, but that's obviously a problem with screen top, not the game.
Yes, I spent enough time messing around here on my own.
Cards, Doc. You can't take them at the same time.
This is what I get for having a game where I've actually done most of my play testing with a solid in-person prototype instead of the online thing.
Here we go. I'm ready for this one. Who reads the next card? Whoever won the last one? I think that should be the rule too.
It can be whoever. Should we go through the optional rules first before we draw the next card?
Yes, now seems like a good time.
Okay. So first thing, since I mentioned it before, is goblins. It's another small deck of cards here. We each start out with 1, and I'll get to replacements in a moment, but these give you different kinds of ways that you can bend the rules. One option being that it may let you play one of your cards on somebody else's invention. There's also things like that you can play extra cards on your own invention, that you can mess around with voting. Different ones have different things they can do, and it'll tell you on the card when you're able to use it. So like I said, we each start with 1 goblin card in hand, and then at the end of each round, whoever has the fewest votes draws another goblin card. There's no limit to how many you can use, but there is a limit to when you get them back.
Oh shit, I moved one whole screen.
So if you guys want to add those, each take 1 right now. 2 other optional rules that I will run through quickly, and we can decide whether or not we want to use them for this stream. One of them is to set a time limit on your pitch. My default recommendation is 45 seconds per person. That seems to be a comfortable time. You've got enough time to talk a little bit, but you're not going on forever and ever. We can also make it a shorter or longer time limit, or we can skip that one. And then the last optional rule, this die here, which has each of the material icons on it. When we draw the patron card, we also roll the die. It says the patron will especially prefer inventions made with that material. So if either of your cards in your invention matches the die roll, you get one bonus token for that, separate from the bonus token for if both of your cards match each other.
You don't get 2 if they both match, correct?
No, if both of them match, you would still only get the 1 token for matching the request, but then also 2nd token for your cards matching each other.
Right. All right, Giga, I think you're up.
Sure.
Grab us a new job here, or whatever it's called.
What options are we using? Are we using just the goblins, or what are we thinking?
We don't have a timer, and I don't think anybody's going past 45 seconds yet, so I think we're fine on that.
So we can skip that one for now.
Sounds good.
Okay, should we do one with the die roll?
Sure.
All right.
It's worth a real extra point, right? It's like a cribbage rule, matching the deck.
We should certainly try at least one round with it. As a game design consideration, the fact that there's every possibility you won't have a material in your hand worries me in theory, but maybe it's fine. I don't know. We should certainly at least try it.
All right. So for this round, our patron is requesting an invention to reroute the nearby magma stream.
And someone roll the die.
Right, and the preferred material is the red axe.
Red axe.
Yep.
They really like the color red, apparently.
And just to make sure these do get shown off, I'm going to use my goblin card right away, which needs to be played before my target opponent has played their invention.
And I'm going to play this really. I'm going to play this really fast then.
Okay, so I'm playing this against Joe. So you're safe, Giga.
Okay.
Okay. So Joe, I get to look at your cards and pick one of them for you, which you must use in your invention for this round.
I de-goblined it.
Oh, so you did. Okay, well, Giga.
I put my stuff down, so...
Oh, well, then I guess this goes back to my hand, and you guys are both safe for now. But you've used up your goblins, so those are going to get discarded.
But didn't you use yours? Because to use mine, I had to counter yours.
So, you know what? You're right.
Existed.
Yeah, so, no, I think mine just gets discarded without...
So, here's what I'd say. I think you can probably still... I'd argue you can still look at my hand. You just have fewer options.
Yeah, because yours doesn't say that it can't be goblined.
Oh,
right?
they must include that card.
So my card that I tried to use specifically says that I have to play it before my target opponent has put down their invention. You've already put down your invention, so it's too late for me to use that card on.
Yay! Nice. Time it. Real-time strategy. Perfect.
This card and you being quick, we blocked it.
All right.
There you go.
So my card is lost, and I guess now I need to actually figure out my invention.
Yeah, well, that's why you still have to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously the best answer again.
In other news, I also use my goblin to play 2 modifiers.
So we've been de-goblined. De-goblinized. Where are the goblins? Oh, whoa, what was that?
All right. So this is what I'm doing for this round.
Did you get that one on there?
All right. I think we are all ready. Giga, you won the last round, so you can start us off this time.
Excellent. And today, the challenge is to reroute the nearby magma stream. And I forgot something, but it's fine, because we are rerouting the magma stream with a self-repairing fireproof fan. Which should be completely obvious. It's fireproof, so the magma can't hurt damage it nearly as much. When it does get damaged, it will self-repair. The fan will easily push the magma onto a new path. It can even be to your enemy's fortress. They don't need to know. How will they ever prove it? Prove that you are responsible for it. It's perfect. It moves the magma like nobody's business. Also, why are we rerouting Why are we rerouting magma stream anyway? Because magma's underground. Lava streams would make more sense. This fan can operate underground, even if it is a true magma stream. It's everything you could ever want. It's perfect.
Outside the
A
fact
revision
that
I have to make.
outside the fact you're spraying hot magma all over the countryside, creating fires left and right, I do think it's perfect.
The goal is to reroute it. No one ever said it. No one ever said where we.
That is true. That is true. It doesn't say how much damage you do doing that, correct?
Correct.
So, and to Giga's point, which should just, I don't even have to sell mine because Giga did right before me somehow. What I have, is simply a bouncing pipe. Pipe's going to take the magma, put it back into the center of Earth where it belongs. But, as we all know, if you just stuck a pipe into magma, it's going to disintegrate. But with the bouncing pipe, it bounces out of the magma and back in, drains a little, bounces out, cools off, bounces back in, drains a little. There's nothing better than the bouncing pipe.
I mean, okay. I like the idea. Sounds like it might be a little bit inefficient. As an alternative, I suggest the pick with base booster. Pick, of course, is going to, dig a new path for the magma to follow. That seems pretty straightforward. Base booster, however, will improve the efficiency of the pick by, weakening the rock as you are digging. Also shaking up the magma a little bit more to encourage it to move into the new channel that you have dug rather than the old one that it has been following up until this point.
I don't want to...
Counter argument, fish are useless in magma.
That's what I said. That's a bass, or not base. But basically, you have a pick with a bunch of fish on the end.
I was thinking more along the lines of a pick with a subwoofer. But I suppose if it's easier to vote against my brilliant idea by intentionally misinterpreting it, I have to let that go.
We did all fill these material, by the way.
All right, I'm ready.
So we don't get any bonus points for that, but we'd still vote for each other.
You ready?
I think so.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, reveal.
I like fish.
They'll be very quickly cooked. You've got that going for you.
I resonance.
All right. Well, this one goes to Joe.
That's why I moved the whole screen if you just barely miss your card.
And there you go, Joe.
Thank you very much. And I believe that gives me the honors, right, to announce the next card here once I get myself
Yes. Okay, and Giga, since you had the fewest votes that round, you draw a new goblin card.
Yay!
You're the only goblin.
Why can you not move an entire deck?
You double-click to select the entire deck.
Okay.
All right. See, learn something new every day. You ready?
I need
I'll give you 5 seconds to read your goblin.
Draw my new cards.
All your new cards.
I drew so many cards in one minute ago. My goodness. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Just a single one. Don't need the entire Patron
Ready?
deck.
I need to read this card.
Keep thieves out of my treasure vault.
Now we're doing
played
the material
Goblin.
die. What is your goblin that you played?
After the patron card is drawn, everyone must pass one modification card to the player on their right. You must use the card you receive in your invention this round.
The player to my right.
Okay, so we'll go clockwise for that.
Okay.
Also, what's the material?
Oh, we hadn't rolled.
Cool.
So I was asking, are we going to continue to do that one?
Oh, sure. That just brings another layer of excitement.
We haven't actually used it yet, so.
Okay. Green is the preferred material this round.
All right, and we're passing one. What was it? A modifier?
One modifier clockwise, and the recipient must use that card. So, Giga, I gave you yours.
Joe, here you go.
Wow. Face down?
Doesn't really matter.
It keeps the excitement.
Sure.
Now
Okay. So I'll put it in my hand so that
are we allowed to? Are we? I don't think you should be allowed to look at it because that would be even more fun. You know what I mean?
Sure, we can do it that way.
I only know one half of it until I flip it. Then you got to think about it.
Okay.
Otherwise,
well, let's do it like that. That sounds fine.
All right, what are we doing here? We're keeping thieves
out of the treasure vault.
Guess we're doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is easy. This could blow up on my face, literally.
I've got a couple different options here. I think I'm going to gamble on this one, seeing as how I'm not sure yet how I'm going to be constructing it.
And I have to go first, right?
Yes. Yeah, it looks like we're all ready.
As we all know, the best way to keep any thief out of anything is with a cannon. Well, why just get a normal cannon when you could get, an upside-down cannon? No, you could get a self-propelled cannon. So, we all know how heavy cannons are. Maybe you have several vaults, and you need to get several thieves out. Somebody wants to push a cannon between vaults. With the self-propelled cannon, the 50-ton cannon moves itself. You stay sweat-free. The thieves stay blown up. What could be better? Self-propelled cannon. Keep them out of the vault. Guaranteed.
You also got a free vote.
That's good. Yep, you do get the bonus for matching colors. I like the cannon idea. Thieves definitely deserve to be blown up. That said, ammunition for your cannon could be a little bit expensive. I think the more economical option, the more economical deterrent, is a bagpipe. No thieves are going to want to come close to that as it is, but especially when it is a color-changing bagpipe, which allows it to camouflage anywhere in the vicinity of your vault. The bagpipe itself, and perhaps also the dwarf who is playing it. The drunker, the better, for optimal, let's call it bagpipe proficiency.
You're not giving him a guard, you're just giving him a color-changing bagpipe. It doesn't come with a free dwarf guard.
Well, somebody's got to play the bagpipe. I mean, I'm giving you the equipment. Look, your self-propelled cannon is not self-firing.
It doesn't see a bagpipe because it's camouflaged. They just won't steal the bagpipe, which is probably the only thing you'd want them to steal from the vault.
Look, if you're not going to hire staff to use the equipment that I'm making for you, that's your own problem. I'm making the equipment. Then you do.
I'm self-propelled, dude. You don't have a self-propelled bagpipe either. You can't even walk.
You never said self-firing.
Well, you wouldn't want it self-firing. You still want the human element in there. I mean, you just want
exactly
running amok. No, that's why we didn't put the self-firing. It's just self-propelled.
Well, and that's why you have the human element controlling the bagpipe, too, so it doesn't accidentally propel itself into the royal bedchambers while playing bagpipe music.
Nobody would notice it. It's camouflaged.
Still hear it. All right, but enough of us bickering. Let's see if Giga can resolve this.
And see, both of those are certainly functional, but the real problem is the cannon is inhumane. Dare I say, in dwarf. And if the thief likes the bagpipe music, they'll simply be drawn to the color changing bagpipe, which is why I simply give you a giant freaking windmill that will simply blow the thieves away. And everything will be fine.
Going to blow them away. Let's see if it's the right kind of windmill.
And the special modifier we have today is a caffeinated windmill. So it is extra juiced up. It's super high power. Nothing can get close without the proper key code. The thieves will never even get close to your treasure vault. Everything will be perfectly safe. There will be no problems at all. All your treasure will remain safe, and no thief can step inside.
How much extra did the caffeinated cost? Because I think the windmill, just no modifier, would have done what you wanted it to. How much extra am I paying for it to be caffeinated?
Just dump your coffee dregs in it every morning.
Oh, well, so it recycles too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that makes my choice easy. All right, let's vote.
All right, are we all ready?
3, 2, 1.
I am a man of nature. Recycling.
I think you did make a very good point there. That said, you've got the bonus for matching colors. So once again, this is going to be a tie between
No, it's not. No, it is not.
What?
What did I miss?
I have a windmill.
Ah, yes, the green. Thank you. I had missed that. Thank you for catching it. So you win by 1 point. I've got the fewest, so I get a goblin card for my troubles.
What do I get? A firm handshake?
You get the knowledge that you didn't come in last.
Nice. Hey, do you want the card, or can I keep that as a
I got it.
reminder of my knowledge?
All right.
We have a scoreboard, because with no scoreboard, I don't know where we're at.
Well, you are holding 2 patron cards next to your hand.
Well, it's not total points. It's just the winner is the most patrons. Has nothing to do with how many points.
Right. It's however many patron cards you've won by the end of the game.
Okay. That's why
and
it's been nice to have a scoreboard, but obviously you don't need it now. So my bad. Let's see.
So with that being the case, it is nearly noon. Are we playing another round? Are we wrapping up here?
Well, we need a tiebreaker, right?
I suppose so. Okay, well that settles that. Now watch something crazy happen, like I actually win the round. A very rare occurrence, but it has happened.
Well, then we'd have to go to the tiebreaker for the tiebreaker.
Okay.
I believe Gig is the one that calls this one out, right? When he's ready.
Sure, we can do that.
Working on it.
So this thing doesn't really like to take the cards back.
Okay. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to build something to convince greedy adventurers to spend their gold in my city.
Just greedy ones.
Preferred material this round. Or I suppose I can roll it. Our preferred material is purple.
I'm already ready.
Okay, convince greedy adventurers.
This is easy. This one sold itself.
Okay, so I had to ask, what if the card has no symbol on it?
It was a mistake by the inventor.
Let's see. So if you're like your base or your modifier,
Yeah.
so I think I had some wild cards that have no symbol on them because they're wild. You have more flexibility for what your invention's going to be. So to balance it out, you don't also get to go grubbing for bonus points.
Okay, just checking.
No problem.
Okay,
here's what we'll do.
You ready? 'Cause you're
Ready. First. Today I bring to you the wonders of modern medicine. A bug repellent loom, perfect to build excellent Under Armour and hats and gloves and all the best clothing for any greedy adventurer who might want to travel during the evening in swamps in bug infested hives full of giant buzzy monsters. We can build you the perfect clothes to keep them away. Everything is perfect. We have never had a complaint with our patented bug repellent loom trademark pending.
Okay. I'm interested, and I'm waiting to see what else we have.
Yeah, I really thought there was a fruit of the loom joke in there somewhere. I was just waiting for it, but it just didn't happen.
There should have been one. You're right. That's not a brand. That's not a brand I use. It's not a brand I use, so I didn't think about it.
It's not a brand I use. You mean your brand loyal to your underwear?
No,
Today's stream brought to you by the following underwear brands.
Right. What? You know, Giga, you might as well get it out there. Maybe they'll send you some free underwear. Who do you use?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I just buy whatever. I just buy whatever's on the shelf.
You could. Who is that? Who's the famous? Is it Calvin Klein? Is that what all the supermodel men wear, or like Beckham?
All the podcasts are sponsored by MeUndies, so if I have to think of something by brand name, that's the first one I'm going to think of, even if I've never seen them in real life.
There we go. All right, so to counteract the underwear, bug repellent underwear, I have something that's even better. I have. Oops, I did it again. a magnetic unicycle. So this has two features that I think you really like. One, once the adventurer gets on the unicycle to go see the city in its guided tour, the magnetic seat will keep the adventurer from leaving the city at all. But there's a second, even better feature. It has a magnetic coin sucker. So as he sits on the seat, the unicycle itself will be sucking coins from the adventurer's pockets. So you get paid for the tour, and you get paid a little extra without them even knowing it. Magnetic unicycle. It's the one.
Gold isn't magnetic.
It does sound a little bit like theft. I like where your head's at, though.
Also, gold is not magnetic.
That's part of our big selling point.
I'm sure dwarves could find a type of magnet that attracts gold.
That's fair.
Give us some credit here. However, I do think that magnetism is a very good tool to use here. My invention is also magnetic. However, rather than something as ludicrous as a unicycle, I have a magnetic flagon. Just sucking gold out of somebody's pockets, that's theft. What's honest? Convincing them to spend more money. Or, an alternate way of phrasing that, removing the barriers to them spending money. A flagon is going to be filled with whatever alcoholic beverage they like. The more alcohol they consume, the more they are likely to spend at that, in addition to, just paying off the bar tab. When the flagon is magnetic, it's going to pull them by their presumably iron or steel armor into the tavern. Flagon goes right into their hand. It's like, well, yeah, I've got this empty flagon here. Might as well fill it up with the hardest dwarf ale you've got. Just keeps them going, encourages them, and the next thing you know, we've got a nice little spending spree in town.
I really thought you were going with flagon where every beer is to go, because, I mean, if everybody's walking around in armor and you've got magnetic flagons, I think they're all just walking out the door with them, aren't they? They're going to have them stuck all over them.
Hey, you break it, you bought it. Not our fault.
If I've learned anything in my travels, it's that encouraging people to walk around while carrying large amounts of alcohol just gets them to spend more freely on the things they see as they're walking around.
Ready to vote, though.
I like both of yours. I'm going to have a little bit of a tough time voting here.
I have my answer.
I'm ready.
I got mine.
Everyone ready? 3, 2, 1, reveal.
I'd like walk around with my beer.
Okay, I've got a bonus for the material.
As
Giga
good.
has a bonus for matching materials.
Which weirdly means you win this round.
Ugh, I've ruined our attempt at a tiebreaker.
I think we have the tiebreaker, so why didn't you give one of your modifiers to me and one of my modifiers to Giga, or your modifiers to Giga, and then we can try to go for your last vote to break the tie.
Okay. Same invention or new invention? Same patron, or shall we draw a tiebreaker pick?
Think, Giga. You want a new one, or you want to do it to the same one?
Let's do the same one. Forces to think fast.
Here we go.
Okay.
Face down.
So,
ready to add to my.
All right. Here is a new modifier for Joe. Here's a new modifier for Giga. You guys add your bases, and let's see where this goes.
I yield to you, Joe. I give you the honors of going first.
You saw us last year with the #1 product in every city, from the Purple Mountains to the Emerald Coast. It was the magnetic unicycle. Some people made fun of it. Some people brought up it might have been theft, but it's #1 on the market. So we came back with a new and improved version. And this time we're adding the #1 feature requested by everyone who bought the magnetic unicycle. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the see-through magnetic unicycle. So now, while the adventurers are driving by, you can actually see the coins leaping from their purse down into the unicycle, where it goes through our special magnetic trapdoor thingamajob that I'm sure we're getting a patent on, and you can see the beautiful mechanics of the unicycle as it goes by and robs the adventurers of their money. What could be better than just a plain magnetic unicycle? Absolutely, no question, a see-through one.
Highly convincing, but I must tell you, our bug repellent looms trademark finally came through, and with the base patent, we now have a new patent pending for a bug repellent loom with extra butter and garlic, everyone's favorite food. Now not only do you get to purchase your new bug repellent gloves and Under Armour, you can also get a free side of garlic knots with every third purchase. It is perfect. Dwarves love garlic. We all know it. Perfect for killing the vampires that aren't repelled by the loom. There's nothing else that you could ever want.
I think you have to, give a shout out to. It's so bug repellent. You can add butter and garlic to it, and the bugs still stay away.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the butter and garlic don't come out tasting like DEET.
I don't think he should get credit either for giving away free biscuits or garlic knots, because I could have given away, pretzels or something. So that shouldn't be counted in the voting.
But you didn't say that.
I don't think. Then we could always add something at the end. Say, look, plus chewing gum. Oh,
this is a tough one. I think this is the way that my vote is going to go. You both have some pros and cons that you've pointed out for your own inventions and for each other's inventions. The more I'm thinking about this, a concern that I had with the see-through magnetic unicycle was, won't adventurers see their own coins falling through the base of the unicycle, just like everyone else is going to see them? But then it occurred to me, adventurers being adventurers, odds are they've taken 1 or 2 shots to the head during their adventures, getting all of that gold. Seeing the coins falling through, they may not make that connection. They may just say, ooh, there's loot in there, which they will then, take out to spend freely around the town, as previously discussed. I think the unicycle gets my tie-breaking vote.
Well. Good game, Joe.
A valiant effort was made by all.
I don't know what I'm going to do with all the money.
I'm sure I could have won if I'd thought of the joke that Joe thought of. It's fine. I don't know that's true. That's the claim I'm going to make, though. Yes, I did have a wild card. I was hoping that I could also choose wild material, but no.
No.
Here's part of the problem I had.
Explicitly state that wild does not affect materials.
Yeah. I had 2 bug repellents in hand, so I had to figure something out.
Considering, I did shuffle the cards a couple of times before we started, so I'm surprised how many we had where either one person had both duplicates, or it seemed like 2 different people drew the duplicates at the same time. But no, that's just how shuffling goes sometimes.
Yep.
So I guess we're all just showing off what other cards we have. All
right, so
okay. So that is Dwarven Guild of Engineers.
Game thoughts here, or are we done?
I'm definitely up for it. I guess whatever you guys want to do for the stream.
Well, I can do mine quickly. Again, I think as soon as you said we were going to do it, and then as it happened in the game, I do think the best mechanic here is when you are forced to think quickly and somebody adds a card, especially the way we played it where you didn't know what it was going to be and you had to start kind of like your pitch and then just work it into the thing that you already started. It just kind of makes it, I think it makes it more fun. It kind of like, you're going to be playing with friends, but you always want to screw your friend, right? In a good way. But, try to make it as hard as possible. And like you gave them with butter and garlic, like that's obviously something you'd want to do to your friend. And like I said, I think that's the best part of the game is anytime we had to do that. And like I think there's going to be, I think the concept here is good. It's just going to be, I think, really choosing these things, the words, and I don't know how, like, it's got to be play tested. Some of these words are going to be good, and some of these I don't think are going to be that good at all. Like abrasive, I'm not sure it's ever going to be a great word to use. Maybe that's one of the good things. But I think you want to use kind of words that can be used multiple ways in somehow. Like and have some kind of, like, pocket size is funny in your head somehow. You know what I mean? Some of these, I think you want a lot of those. Bug repellent, things that are just a little bit goofy, and that you can kind of go
Butter and
a long
garlic.
way.
Personally, one of my favorites of all the ones I came up with.
And then like something like abrasive, like it's almost too direct. Like there's only so much you can do with abrasive. So, I mean, that's the only like really complaint I'd have is say, you know, and I can't even complain because I don't know what's in the whole deck. But I was just saying some of the ones I saw, like abrasive sat in my hand the whole time, and you know, I was happy to see most of the cards in abrasive just kept sitting there. I could never really find a good reason to use abrasive in a funny way. I'm sure you could use it. You know what I mean? But I think the idea is also to entertain in this kind of game, like the making the pitch. You know, is the person doing the pitching is the, you know, guy that's got the spotlight on him for a second. You know, the 1 minute comedian or whatever.
Right.
So,
and of course, it also depends on like what's the patron's request. So there might be one, you know, we got 5 cards into the deck, maybe another 15 cards down. You would have found something where you felt like you could do the perfect pitch with abrasive. We just never got there.
I like loom. Like I think things that are just a little like off the like I'm not sure. You know, some of these would be good. Like I think you want to go and let your mind free. Like almost maybe smoke some weed and just start writing down, like sitting thinking of what would be funny. Why you like visualize the game and then the types of objects that would be the funniest things to pitch. Right.
We here at IGL do not officially condone breaking the law. Just so we're clear.
You know, but I'm saying in general, just that kind of idea of just letting you know.
Right.
You know.
Do a thing that will help me to brainstorm in a less filtered way.
And certain words just sound funny. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So some of those kind of words too.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I think that would be the way I go. Is really try to make it so that you're giving them some help in the funniness and either the absurdity of the object itself that they're starting with, or the absurdity of the modifier.
Yeah, that does sound like something where I should probably go through my word list again and see what kind of changes I can make. Because most of the revisions I've been doing so far, or all of the revisions really, have been about just, you know, tweaking the mechanics of the game once the cards are in hand or on the table. Other than adding wilds, I don't think I've done anything yet that was changing the cards themselves.
I don't know if there's a theme or a time, because like should they all be like, you could think of this as being, you could have the medieval version, right, of this game where all the words and stuff are at least existed in the medieval times. That's where all your nouns are going to come from, right? And then you could have the space version, right, where it's planetary rocket ships, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I wonder if mixing all of them though and having just like, you know, I'm not sure you want to go back too far or you want to go future too much. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Should they all have something in common? Like, is there a theme throughout the base in a way?
Yeah. Right. So yeah, like it's the vaguely, you know, D&D-ish fantasy setting, and it's dwarves. So of course they've got all kinds of crazy inventions.
Have a unicycle. That's what I'm saying. These kind of things are, if we're going in the theme, you know, how far outside the theme can you go when then you leave the theme? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I say if you're staying with medieval and it's all dwarves, then I would just say that would be one of the other things, is why you're picking funny words or some funny things. They have to kind of fit into a dwarf's world, or where a dwarf would be found. And again, then you couldn't use anything space related or really modern too much. It would be a bunch of things that existed from 500 to 1,000 years ago, I guess. So I don't think they could be caffeinated, right? Wouldn't even have known what caffeine was.
If we want to take it very seriously.
And that's
I get what you're saying about finding the right balance there.
You know, because you have all the like potions from D&D that were all, you know, whatever, hasted, and you know, there's hundreds of things you could use from the D&D world to just grab, because you got, you know, you have that whole, those Bibles, those 3 kind of books. You can probably steal all sorts of shit from there. Ega, your thoughts?
I withdraw my previous concern about the die rolling. It was actually fine, probably. If anything, it opened up more opportunities for you to give yourself extra votes by maybe messing with yourself a little bit. Instead of only having the option of having 2 matching materials, so that was probably good. I feel like there should be a special rule in the case where you have 2 of the same word in your hand. Because that's a little
Yeah, I
obnoxious
think
when
that
that
would be easy
happens.
enough. Probably easy enough to add in. Not sure why I didn't think to put that in before, so thank you for pointing it out. Yeah,
I think
I mentioned
somehow you
earlier.
can play them both at once and somehow get a bonus point. So you really didn't have to create something where the person tells you that now they have 2 cards of the same hand and there's some special rule. You might be able to say, like, if it happens, it's somehow a bonus. If you use it, you get a bonus point just like anything else, right? If you can do double bug repellent loom, because bug repellent repeats, then you get that bonus point. It's just like it's luck of like anything else. You just got lucky that you dealt 2 of them and you used them.
Okay, I got to think about exactly how I want to put that together, but I like that idea of if you happen to get that in your hand, finding a way to make it an advantage instead of just being that you have fewer choices, essentially.
You have to give them away and get 2 other ones back, right? Because then you're splitting them. So you can do it that way, too, without having to, you can get some more player interaction out of it. If you ever have 2 of the same, you can give them to 2 players and they give you 2 back, right? Just keep them... pass them down. Don't even know what they're getting. Other players wouldn't know what they're getting. So I think you have a lot of ways to handle that one, whether you're going to make it a bonus or somehow replace it.
Yeah, thank you for that idea. I will definitely play around with that.
Keep going, Giga.
I think I was mostly just gonna say, other than that, I generally liked it. It fits well in the general vein of games like Balderdash, Apples to Apples. Things like that. Race is Stupid. It's one that I picked up at PAX Unplugged a couple of years ago.
Very light party games, right? That's what I think you'd kind of call it, right?
What do you say?
Playing it in 5 minutes to 6 people, and you start playing, and
yeah,
very little to learn or anything, and just kind of have fun with the group.
Just general silliness instead of significant strategy. Yeah.
I think the one thing I would say about these types of games is almost always they work way better with people you know than people you don't know.
Agreed.
So, I don't think it would be a game that I'd take to a table, or like it'd be tough at a con unless you had 4 people you brought with you. I don't think you'd want to sit down with 3 random people and hope that all your humor and they kind of understand you and that kind of thing. Like, the better you know,
and I kind of had that experience when I was testing this at PAX Unplugged.
That's not just this game. Like anything like that, Balderdash, all those kind of games work that way. So, yeah, I think there's a lot here with, even though it's. So I don't mean to say this as a negative thing, but it's extremely simple. But it's entertaining. I think we had fun with it. Nobody knew how to play. We should say that. We literally did one round before we turned on the camera, and mostly that was so we could learn how to interact with screen top and knew how to flip cards and that stuff. So
it turned out screen top's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, I mean, but you can see we made something out of it without ever playing before. So I think people, with their families and friends, and once the game gets a little more polished and everything, and obviously we're going to get some art here, I'm sure, it's going to be a much more enjoyable experience. But it was quite enjoyable for just in this stage and for the amount of time we had to really kind of learn it, which was all of a couple minutes. So,
well, I'm glad that you guys did enjoy it. I appreciate the feedback from today.
I think the goblin cards might need a little bit of work because we didn't really get a lot of that. But it seems like somehow we canceled the one out, and the other one that Giggle used, I'm not sure it had a massive effect in any way, but I think maybe there's a way to get that mechanic, or, instead of always giving it to the last person, maybe it's the person in last place as opposed to the person that went last in the round, because as a catch-up mechanic.
It's the person that had the fewest votes in the round.
I was saying in general, it's last place in the game per se.
Okay, gotcha.
Therefore, you could make them so that goblin cards kind of make it a little easier to get votes somehow. And that way, it works as a catch-up mechanic, which this game doesn't really have. I think, if we got out to, if it was 3-3-0, you were going to start to lose interest if you were a random person, because there's no way to come back quickly. I don't think in this game, but maybe that's what goblins could do. Whether they give you a free vote or somehow you earn a free vote if you play it with a certain card, something like that. Somehow, so that if somebody's in last place, that these goblin cards that they get them because they're in last place somehow help them to get back into the game. That would be maybe a way to do it. Always good to have some kind of catch-up mechanic in any kind of game where there's numerical scoring, right? So you'll want people. You got 6 people, 3 of them, checking out halfway through the game, really, and not caring anymore. Other than that, I think that's it. Do we have some last words from you, Doc, or?
Not too much that I can think of right now. I think for folks watching, this is the game. You've seen the vast majority of it. Just, more cards to explore. It is available on screen top, so as much as some folks do not particularly like this platform, it is free to play in your browser, no extra software download required. For anybody that does want to check it out and just mess around with it. I think that's all I've got for now.
In that case, final sign off. Thank everyone for watching. This video should go up on YouTube at some point. Hopefully. I don't have access to the channel. That's Joe's job. But hopefully everyone enjoyed. We'll see when the next IGL Studio episode is. Who knows? And until then, Joe, Doc, say bye to the audience.
Bye, audience.
Goodbye, audience.
And we hope you all enjoyed today. Have a good evening, or afternoon, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye.